Hi, I'm Sam and welcome to my van tour. The van is a 2012 Fiat Ducato L3H2. I bought the van in 2018 and spent about a year converting it. The van is a 4-berth camper. It can seat and sleep up to 4 adults, and the general layout that I went for was the kitchen and living area in the front half of the van, and then a full-size double bed going across the back of the van. Let's take a look at the kitchen. So this is the kitchen area of the van. This is a pretty crucial part of the build for us because we like to cook, and it's obviously a good way to save money when you're traveling. So I've gone for a 2-burner stove from IKEA, an IKEA sink as well. We've also got a combi oven and grill. So a Fiat Duplex, which is plenty big enough for pizzas and making sweet potato fries and all stuff like that. Obviously with this layout we're a little bit short on counter space, so got the fold up end of the worktop there, which just clips up like that. I've got plenty of room for chopping. I also built this little block that just sits in the sink, so you've got another sort of chopping surface there where you can put your drying up onto that as well. The worktop is a solid oak worktop from IKEA. I'm not sure if I'd go with that again because it does add a fair bit of weight, but it does look nice. The tiles, I actually just ordered a load of samples from Tops Tiles because I only needed about, I don't know, 13 or 14 tiles. So it's a bit cheeky, but yeah, I just ordered loads of samples. Got loads of hooks and stuff, just handy storage knickknacks. Made this little shelf for pastas and oats for porridge and stuff like that. Didn't really have anywhere to store stuff like olive oil and washing up liquid, and the bottles were a bit tall to go in my cabinet, so I made this little, I don't know what you call it, but that's good for keeping those in one place and stop them flying across the van. Up here just store glasses and mugs, and then this side for stuff for teas and coffees and some toiletries. Decided to just make the doors on these slide rather than messing around with hinges and gas struts. Just tried to keep it nice and simple. So down here we've got our utility cupboard effectively, and just got a little bin, cleaning products, an electric kettle, blender, bits and bobs like that. And then the big drawer at the bottom is our main kitchen equipment cupboard drawer. So that's where all our pots and pans are, got toaster, stuff like that. And down here we've got a Dometic CRX 65 fridge. It's a fridge freezer, so there's a little freezer section in the top there. Underneath that, another drawer for food and plates and all that stuff. Nice mouldy potatoes in there, so they need to come out. One thing that I knew that I wanted in the van was a microwave. If you're on the road, you can just chuck some soup in there, or just quick easy food when you're traveling. So this is just a standard domestic microwave. The microwave can be powered off the inverter. I've got a 1600 watt inverter. I will talk more about the electrics in a minute. So if we keep on going round, wine is very important. So a little wine rack here, just enough for a couple of bottles, and I designed that so that they don't slide out when you're driving along. some of the electrical controls down here. So that's the inverter controller, Victron battery monitor. That's the control for the gas heater that we've got, and we've also got a water heater on board as well, so that's where that's controlled from. Up here is a little bookshelf, and then just more storage for food, and other bits and bobs up here. So this is the main seating area of the van. You can comfortably get 3 people around here. Bit of a squeeze if there's 4 of us, but it's quite nice because you can just get the sliding door open, and then you've got a nice view of wherever you've parked up. This bed actually pulls out into another double, so that's one of the main criteria for this van. I wanted it to be able to comfortably sleep 3 to 4 adults, so that we can kind of bundle a load of people in and go on a cheap trip to the Alps, do some snowboarding. Underneath where I'm sat is the main electrical compartment, and then under here, this section of the bench, is the gas heater and the water heater. Another decision that I made on this van was to keep the bulkhead in. This was mainly because I was worried about noise and also sort of heat loss into the cab. So the van is really warm when you take it to cold climates, but if I did another van, I would probably get rid of the bulkhead, just because then you can have the kind of captain's chairs in the front and then walk through into the cab rather than having to get out and go round when you want to drive off. So this table is just on a swivel leg down here. I went for like a leaf shape just to be a bit different, and so there's just a latch underneath here and then here, and you can swivel that kind of from that position all the way out the way over there, and it also will go like that. Installed a 4th seat as well, so this is just a flip down seat, so that we can seat and sleep 4 people in the van. I should also give a shout out to Carol, my mum, who's done all of the kind of upholstery and sewing work. She made this nice little blind for the window on the cab, and she did all the seat cushion covers, and this one's even quite technical because it's a hinged cushion that comes out. I'll show you that in a minute when I get the fold out bed out. So underneath this bench is the main electrical compartment. We've also got some extra storage in this side, where we've just got a spare mattress topper. So all of the switches for the electrics in the van are down here. These I think I bought from a marine website, so meant to go in boats, but works really well in the van. So I've split everything out. You've got lights in the kind of forward half or the living section of the van, lights over the bed, got an external LED above the sliding door, USB sockets are switched, fridge, water pump, extractor fan above the hob. Can isolate the water heater and air heater, and this one is actually it's called a tank blanket, which is basically a 12-volt heated pad that is stuck to the underside of my grey water tank, and stops your tanks freezing up if you go into colder climates. And then the cables run through into here, and it's a 230 amp hour AGM battery and a 1600 watt Victron combi charger inverter. I've also got 200 watts of solar on the roof and an MPPT charge controller in there. And we do also have electric hookup for when we are on proper campsites. So in terms of lighting in the van, I went for these touch sensitive LED lights. Got 6 of them throughout the van, and then I've also got some little reading lights in the bed area and one over here. So this section of the bed pulls out and locates, there's like a plinth there, and then this cutout here locates in there. It's pretty straightforward. That then forms it's a small double effectively, full length but just a little narrower than a standard double. So I'm 6'3" and can quite comfortably sleep on that and get a good night's sleep. So the bed system is really simple. It's just interlocking slats that slide in and out, and then down there, that's the water heater. That is a Malaga 5E, and then that's a Propex heat source 2000. And you can see my water pump in there, and my water tank is just there. So this here's our mini wardrobe. Opted to use tambour doors, pretty common in smaller vans and VWs and stuff. I managed to find some wood veneer ones, so I just wanted to keep the kind of wood and white theme going along, so they've worked out pretty well. Got another one here under the sink that slides around to the side rather than up. This one works a bit better. So a couple of the main reasons why I chose a Fiat Ducato over a Sprinter or a Ford Transit was the height. So I'm 6'3" and I can comfortably stand up inside. The Fiat Ducato is also considerably wider than other vans, which means you can get a full length double bed widthways across the back. So the bed is quite high up. I designed it so that it's high enough to get a bike underneath in the garage at the back, but then also so that there was just enough room to be able to sit up in bed. With it being quite high, you do need to kind of step up into it. So there's a couple of little steps down here. One of them's used for the pull-out bed, but then there's another one this side so that you can easily just step up and jump in. So I didn't want any windows in the bedroom section of the van, so I opted to put a roof light in. That's probably one of the best decisions that I made on the van, because it just brings so much more natural light into the van. So this is a Dometic mini sight. It's been really good because it comes with built-in blinds and also a fly net as well. So I went for more of the same style of sliding cabinets back here, which are great for storing clothes in. There's also a couple of little shelves and nooks for storing your phone in. It's one of those on each side. So the hob, the oven, the water heater and the air heater are all gas fueled. I've got a 25 litre underslung LPG tank underneath the van. The reason I went for that is I didn't want to take up space in the van, didn't want to have to bother with a gas locker, and I wanted something that was refillable at petrol stations, just for convenience really. The filler for the LPG tank is just behind the sliding door, so I can show you guys that now. One thing worth noting with the refillable LPG tanks is that different countries have different fittings at their garages. So I think this is an adapter for France that you just screw into the filler in the side of the van. yeah, learnt that one the hard way. Yeah, make sure you get yourself a set of adapters. I think there's 3 or 4 that then cover you all throughout the world. In terms of LPG safety, I've got isolators in a couple of different points throughout the van. So these 2 are for the water heater and the air heater, and then I've got another couple underneath the kitchen, within the kitchen unit, for the hob and the oven. I've done a couple of videos on the LPG tank install. There's not a lot of information out there on it, so I'll put links up there to those videos. I did one on the install, stuff that I learned when I was doing it, and then also like a fault finding. I had a bit of a leak, so just a leak detection video as well. So this is my van's garage. As I said before, I made the bed high enough so that I can get bikes inside, and this box isn't there, and then chuck bikes in that side, and then this side is normally for windsurf kit and stuff like that. So on the right there is my 70-litre water tank, which is plumbed in, and that's just a spare 20 litres of water. So I haven't got a bathroom as such in the van. I've got a shower hookup point here. So we just take this, stick that in there, and then you can have a shower off at the back of the van here. Got both hot and cold water out here, and it's actually got a decent pressure to it. So the garage is probably the least finished part of the van. Probably want to put a set of drawers in the middle there, and then just leave the side of that for big things like bikes and windsurf kit. And as you can see, we've store our porta potty in there as well. Okay, so you've seen in the back of the van and the garage. Let's go round to the front of the van and have a look in the cab. So the van is a high mileage vehicle. When I bought it, it had done just over 172,000 miles. As you can see, we're now up to over 180. So I haven't made a great deal of changes in the cab. All I've really done is put a reversing camera in and some switches for lights and stuff. That there is the screen for my reversing camera, which is activated by a little switch down here. I did try and hook it up by when it goes into reverse, but couldn't manage to find the live feed, so ended up just running the switch there. A couple more switches up here. So that's for a big LED off the front of the van. It's a rear LED over the back doors, and then just another voltage meter here. I also stuck in a couple of extra USB sockets. I've got this basically Bluetooth radio adapter. So your phone connects to this. This then connects to the van's radio. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. There's going to be loads more van related content coming up over the next few months. And so yeah, thanks again for watching. Cheers.